Well, it's here. Oh, I'm awake. It's so funny. The one day I decide to sleep in, I was up a little bit late last night, playing some Monster Hunter actually, trying to get back into some Monster Hunter. The one morning I decide to sleep in, of course, is the morning that Nintendo drops the new OLED Nintendo Switch. I mean, to be honest, it's a relief that they finally said something. I mean, we all knew this thing was coming, but the big question now, as we see the specs, as we look at the information that Nintendo has given us on the OLED new model Switch, the question is this enough? What's up, guys? Welcome back or welcome in for the first time. If you're new here, do me a favor. There's links below to the podcast channel, the Discord, all that good stuff. Pick one, pick two. We'll see you in there after this video. So I did say on the podcast Friday night that I really do think that July was going to be the time when they're going to go ahead and announce this thing. I really honestly think that E3, or before E3, was when they wanted to announce it, and maybe something changed internally. Maybe it was all the leaks. Who knows? But I think that really was the time that they wanted to put this thing out. But I told Jeeb on the podcast, I think July is going to be the month where we see it. So here it is. Let's go over some of the specs. Obviously, I know you guys have seen this stuff in other videos all day, so I'm not gonna take a ton of time on this, but I do wanna go over everything just for those of you who have not seen it yet, so you can be up to date. All right, so obviously, we got the 7-inch OLED screen, which is great. I'm really glad that we're getting that upgraded screen. It's gonna look a ton better, and just that little bit of a bigger screen is really not that big of a difference, but being as small as it is, that little bit is probably going to make a pretty big difference. Obviously, the OLED is going to make a huge difference. The colors are going to be so much better on this thing. Overall, it's just going to look better. Another really big improvement that they did make was the kickstand. The kickstand goes all the way across the back this time, and we heard that this might be the case. We've seen other things, even cases for the Switch, have kickstands sort of like this, so it makes a lot of sense for Nintendo to go ahead and do this as well. And you can actually set it at multiple angles, so that's also another really nice feature. Hopefully this one is a little more sturdy than the last one. I figure going all the way across the back of the Switch, it should be a little bit more sturdy, but we'll have to wait and see when we get it in our hands to know for sure. All right, so stepping away from the Switch itself, let's go ahead and look at what the dock has to offer. Obviously, we've got, which I also didn't mention, this thing's gonna come with white Joy-Cons. You can actually get it in the blue and red as well, but it does have a white option, and you can actually get that with a white dock. But the dock does have a built-in LAN port, which, I mean, I don't know why the first one didn't. That's great that this has it. Hopefully that helps out with some of the online issues we have with the Nintendo Switch. I don't know that this is going to fix everything, but I think it will help out a little bit. Now I'm gonna have to run another cable from here all the way back there. That's fine, it doesn't matter. We're still gonna hook it up. I'm glad it's there. It's a nice little upgrade. Now, as far as the dock goes itself, it looks basically the same. It looks like the back door's a little bit different. It doesn't hinge down. It looks like it comes completely off, which I really don't know how much of a difference that's going to make, because you can actually take the back of this dock off. I actually have the back of this Animal Crossing one off right now. But the only other real differences besides the color, obviously, that I can see for the dock is it's got some rounded edges on the top corners. They're not quite as sharp as the old dock is. So obviously probably just a small design change, not really going to change anything else about the system, but I do think it does look a little bit better. Now, another decent upgrade that they made to this, still I don't think quite enough, but it's much better than it was. We had 32 gigabytes of onboard storage for the regular Switch and the Switch Lite. The new OLED Switch is going to give us 64 gigs of internal storage, which is double what we had, but still in this day and age, not quite enough. It's definitely gonna help. For most people, for some people, that may be plenty, but at this point, I'm filling up 400 gigabyte memory cards. I have to eventually just buy this terabyte memory card. It's so expensive. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to have to do that. So this is an upgrade for some people. To some, it's just a little bit of extra help. Moving on, enhanced audio. We have no idea what this means. Really, all they're showing is noise coming out of the speakers. We don't really have anything to go off of. They haven't told us anything. I'm sure we'll hear more about this in the coming days, probably, maybe even later today. Who knows? You may know more about this by the time you watch this video. So at this moment in time, that's really all we know about this thing. We know it's coming out October 8th. We know it costs $350. So it is slightly more expensive than the Switch. Not quite as much as I thought it was going to be. I figured it was going to be $400, but it doesn't have a lot of the things that were rumored, even in these big reports that got a lot of this stuff right. As of right now, there's absolutely nothing going on with this that says it does anything 4K whatsoever. And that was kind of a big thing that these Bloomberg articles were saying. We're gonna see docked 4K, and so far it doesn't look like that's what we're getting here. But at the same time, I do want to say this dock could have an upgraded HDMI port in the back that could allow it to display a 4K image on a screen. Maybe this Switch just doesn't have it. I put out a video a while ago and I actually reposted it on my community tab earlier today. If you want to go check that one out, I'll also link it at the end of the video. I kind of go into more detail about what this could be. And to be honest, what we got today so far, besides absolutely no mention of 4K whatsoever, this is basically kind of what I talk about in that video. This looks more to me like something that's going to replace the Switch we have right now, not be the upgraded Switch Pro model. Not only did we get no information about 4K, we got no information about any type of power upgrade whatsoever, which again, we could get later. I feel like that's a really big thing for Nintendo to just not talk about when they announce a new Switch. Not only that, this thing is using the exact same shell clearly as the old Switch. The Joy-Cons are exactly the same, no change to those. They fit right on the sides, just like the old ones would. So it looks like obviously you're going to be able to use your old Joy-Cons with this new Switch. The Skyward Sword Joy-Cons that we're about to be getting, those will also work on this Switch. Another big thing that's missing from this, and I don't want to say that it's not there, because again, I guess it could be, but I feel like things like this are things they would mention in the initial video when they show us this thing to get us excited about it. But we didn't get Bluetooth headphone support again. I think that is absolutely insane that they still have not put that in the Switch. So the big question on your mind as you see this video, as you see the date, the price, is this new Switch actually worth waiting for? Should you wait to get that bigger screen, pay the extra $50, or should you just get a Switch? In my opinion, if you are not like really excited for that big screen, I really don't see any reason to wait to get this Switch. Now, am I getting this Switch? Yes, but I'm also very excited about the screen. But as it sits right now, the way that I see this Switch is the replacement for the original Switch that we have. I see this one phasing the old Switch out and becoming the new regular Switch, and we get some type of a Pro model next year. I don't think this is what everyone thought was the Switch Pro. I kind of went away from the ideas we talked about in this video a little bit that I'm going to be looking at the end, but now that I see this and I see what this is, unless we hear big information on this thing later, unless we hear that this thing has a lot more power, other upgrades, like I said, like the Bluetooth headphone support, I just see this being the replacement for the one we have right now. So I would say if you have a Switch and you don't really care about that bigger screen, I don't see any point to upgrade to this one. It looks nice. The white Joy-Cons they're nice, they're classy, the dock looks good, but for me, upgraded internal memory of only 64 gigabytes, I don't think that's quite enough to make anybody want to jump to the next one, you know? Yeah, you're doubling it, but you're doubling it from 32, so it's not that much. I think this is very cool. I can't wait to get my hands on this. I want to see what this screen looks like, but I don't think this is it. I think there's more coming. I think we'll see another one next year. I think this will end up phasing out the current Switch that we have, and we will actually see this Pro model to come later. Unless they just drop a bunch of information on us and tell us that this has so much more power, but again, don't think that's happening at this time. But obviously, I want to know what you guys think. Are you picking this thing up? Is this enough of an upgrade for you people who already have a Switch? Is this enough of an upgrade to go ahead and pick a new one up? Or have you been waiting? Maybe you don't have a Switch and you see this and you say, hey, I don't want to wait till October. I'm going to go get a Switch right now. I want to know what you guys have to say about all this down in the comments below. But this is not the video I wanted to make today. I have plans to do a lot of stuff, not here, not down at the studio, but out in the world. So I'm going to edit this, get it up for you guys to check out. Then I'm going out. I'm doing that. I'm sick of sitting here in these chairs. It's time to get out into the world. But guys, that's all I have for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like. Make sure you are subscribed. We'll see you in the next one.